On potentiometers, there's usually a lug that you need to solder to the back of the pot so you ground it. You can see this one where the terminal or the lug has been bent over and connected to the pot. That is one way you can ground that lug to the back of the pot. It just really depends on the type of pot you use. You can kind of see that there's enough length to that lug to be able to touch the casing of the potentiometer. What you don't want to use solder to bridge that gap. So make sure that if it does reach, making sure that you bend it over far enough to where it's actually touching that casing. Because the problem with if you use the solder to bridge it, there may not be a good connection. It may not be bonded correctly, and then you can have things that are kind of shorted out. You get some noise. Things won't be grounded properly. So just be aware of that. And again, it really depends on the type of pot that gives you that enough length to be able to bend that over to the casing. This particular one, this lug is not quite long enough to reach the outer casing. So what you can do is, I can take some extra lead wire here, and what I can do is I can use that lead wire to basically kind of bridge that lug to the back or the casing of the potentiometer. But now I can hook this over. Again, if you use this hook technique, it's great because it kind of holds in place, but when you're trying to remove it, it definitely makes it a little bit more difficult. Now, since both of these things are tin, I can kind of bring it in here, making sure that both elements are hot enough. But for this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply some heat to the top of this, and both to the casing as well as this wire here. And I'm going to get this solder to kind of flow nicely across there. Doesn't need a lot. So now I have a nice connection between that lug to the back of the potentiometer.